A professional ad run on behalf of Goodman, Lieber, Kurtzberg, and Holloway, featuring Jennifer Walters, contains within it an Easter egg that all but guarantees that She-Hulk's career is going to eventually eclipse her current law firm. And this Easter egg involves her boss, Holden Holloway, a supervillain relative of his, and an Eternal too. And you will never believe who she likely ends up working for or with down the line if her story in the MCU follows the trajectory of the She-Hulk comic book saga. I mean, we're talking about someone that even Zeus himself might want to stay on the right side of, or else. I'm a real live attorney, and I'm going to react to the latest She-Hulk trailer, which is the GLK&H commercial. And we're going to talk about all of that right now. Welcome back to the Mama Saga, where this Marvel-loving mama is a mother and lawyer by day, but breaks down comic book sagas, movies, and shows like She-Hulk by night. Make sure you subscribe to this channel because we're going to do live after party live streams after each episode of She-Hulk Attorney at Law drops, and you don't want to miss out on the fun. All right. So here's my reaction and the Easter egg related information too. How authentic is the ad? So up front, I've been an attorney really since 1998, but I am not licensed in California. I'm in New York instead. I should give out that disclaimer before I go any further. That said, when I review this fun ad-style trailer, I noticed that Jennifer Walters identifies herself. She's an attorney at the Superhuman Law Division of Goodman, Lieber, Kurtzberg, and Holloway. I feel it's very authentic to use words in a law office's advertisement that touches on the concerns of their ideal clientele. In this case, superhumans. Like they raise the fact that their ideal client might be feeling like they don't belong, that they're being abused by humanity because they're different, being treated like outcasts, or, of course, abominations. By the way, see the phone number they've got going on there? I cover not only what you hear when you call that number, but a few deep dive Easter egg type revelations and possible legal theories that could be explored that involve not one but two Avengers. So if you've missed my recent video, Have You Called She-Hulk Yet?, you should definitely check it out after you're done watching this video. You're gonna love it. In the meantime, I appreciate as a lawyer that this ad also highlights the fact that once your employer and or fellow coworkers know you're a superhuman, they might treat you differently, poorly. You might even have, as we lawyers often say, a hostile work environment. And if that is true, you might be entitled to civil remedies. By the way, what I say in this video is not meant to be legal advice to anyone. It's just merely legal issue spotting for entertainment purposes only. There's disclaimer number 2 from me today. So, like many commercials from law offices, this fake ad highlights the possible issues superhumans suffer from, like intentional infliction of emotional distress, economic duress, slander, libel, hostile working environments. And now that they've highlighted the potential problems that superhumans might suffer from, just like any good advertisement, the solution is highlighted for those that are victims and potential plaintiffs to get compensation by calling a lawyer, but not just any lawyer. Jennifer Walters of the Superhuman Law Division of Goodman, Lieber, Kurtzberg, and Holloway. It's really a great mock law office advertisement, and I agree that the marketing for the She-Hulk Attorney at Law series on Disney Plus, with the first episode to drop on August 18th, is spot on. And now it's time for the hidden Easter egg. As you can see from the small print at the end of this faux ad, Goodman, Lieber, Kurtzberg, and Holloway's Superhuman Law Division is currently representing clients in Los Angeles, California, but are defending cases from across the universe. Now, how is this an Easter egg, you ask? Well, the law office is clearly located in the state of California itself, and I find it interesting that they would limit themselves to only one municipality. I've never worked for a firm that did that over the years in New York State. But okay, it's the reference that's made to, quote, cases from across the universe, unquote, that is the Easter egg itself. You see, in the Marvel comic book saga for She-Hulk, there came a point that she, at the urging of her boss Holden Holloway, left GLK&H to work for the Living Tribunal, practicing cosmic law as part of his magistrati, for goodness sakes. As you may know, the Living Tribunal has been teased at least twice in the MCU so far, once as an Easter egg in Season 1 of Loki, and once as an Easter egg in Thor: Love and Thunder. He is a super powerful cosmic entity, serving as the final judge for matters involving cosmic entities themselves, literally serving as a representative of the one above all. Existing for as long as the universe itself, the Living Tribunal safeguards the multiverse itself from an imbalance of mystical forces. Keep in mind, since San Diego Comic-Con 2022, we know that phases 4, 5, and 6 are part of the multiverse saga. So it's the perfect time for all of this to come into focus as the MCU moves forward. Now, an imbalance of mystical forces can just as easily involve too much evil versus too much good going on as it can involve one universe becoming far more powerful than another, or all the others. The Living Tribunal is striving for a balanced multiverse, you see. It is so strong that it can turn a star into a supernova with a single force bolt, and it can use it to destroy a planet and all of its inhabitants, if and only if it's necessary to preserve the order of the balance of mystical forces. It's nearly omnipotent, omniscient, and nearly always omnipresent. So yes, Zeus would not want to get on the wrong side of the Living Tribunal. No one in their right minds would. Now, the Living Tribunal holds court in his own dimension, which is attended by many super powerful cosmic entities, only some of whom has been introduced in the MCU to date, including Celestials, Eternity, and the Watchers. The Living Tribunal has the Magistrati serving as this cosmic court, and the Magistrati serve as judges and sometimes even jurors or universal advocates. In the She-Hulk comic book saga, there came a point in time where Jennifer Walters' partner, Holden Holloway, asked her to represent his granddaughter, a supervillain named Southpaw, before this cosmic court in a case involving a claimant called Champion. She-Hulk impressed the Magistrati so much that they invited her to join their ranks, and Holden Holloway totally encouraged Jennifer to do it. And the Living Tribunal itself taught her about cosmic law so that she could practice in the Star Chamber's Cosmic Claims Court. I mean, during her time of service, She-Hulk presided over a case that involved Uatu the Watcher, which makes me wonder if we've got a What If Season 2 or 3 episode on our hands. I think I'll do a separate video on that down the line, so make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss it. In fact, speaking of additional videos I'm going to make, here's another one. She-Hulk's personal and professional relationship in the comic book saga with Eros, also known as Star Fox. You know, he was introduced into the MCU briefly in the Eternals movie, and, well, they were on the Avengers team together for a while. They did become lovers, and then She-Hulk did defend him against an Earth-based claim of sexual assault. And then, as a member of the Magistrati, she had to observe an exoneration trial for Eros on Titan in connection with said Earthbound claim. Very complicated, very interesting. There's so much for us to cover together. Plus, if you missed my breakdown of the comic book version of GLK&H and my theory as to how Holden Holloway might actually be involved in a subplot that becomes important either later on in the Disney Plus miniseries or later on down the line in the MCU itself, make sure you check out my video, Who Does She-Hulk Work For? You're definitely going to want to check out that video too. Look, you really want to subscribe to my channel and attend my breakdowns of every She-Hulk episode on the days that each one drops, because unlike other hardcore Marvel theorists, I'm the only lawyer. The first live stream after party will go down this Thursday, August 18th, so make sure you join us. Anyway, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok and subscribe to the Mama Saga for more comic book saga breakdowns, salty mama style. Thanks for watching, take care, and see you next time.